Hello, Miss Chula.
Hi,
Very
Sarah.
sad that this is our last video. I
I
mean, not
know.
our last video, but everyone's last.
Our last video for this purpose.
Yes,
I'm sitting in front of my finished quilt, which I'm
you
very excited.
are. You are. And Chula has posted the most awesome video on her Instagram of the whole quilt. So we're actually recording this a couple of weeks before you guys will get this. So make sure and go back in her
Yeah,
feed and have a good look at that. It's on her Insta and Facebook.
definitely.
And in
Definitely.
my Insta and Facebook because I've reposted it. And actually, I'll just put
Well,
it on the page for you guys so you can all see it. We'll just do that. We'll
yeah.
put it on the
It
website.
turned out really good. I'm super, super pleased with it.
It is
My
very
very first finished applique quilt. I've never finished one before.
good.
So this is not my first quilt I've ever tried to applique. It's the first one I've ever finished.
Yes,
So that's exciting.
yes, it is indeed. And it's absolutely gorgeous. You've done a stunning job. I love it. It's fabulous.
Thanks.
It's fabulous. Lots of people asking in the Facebook posts and stuff what you think you're going to put on the back.
Oh, I was actually just having this conversation with myself earlier. I'm going to put one of the new free falls from Full Moon Forest to launch on the back. I'm
Yeah.
trying to decide what color because all the colors are in it, so I could literally do anything. I'm feeling like with all of the leaves, I might go with the green and blue,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that
I
hot
thought you
lime
might
green.
do that. Yeah. I was looking at them the other day because I need some for a backing and I was like, that one would look good on the back of
I
Chula's.
think the pink would be really cool too. The bright pink with the like tomato polka
Yeah.
dots would all.
That's my favorite one. You know, I'm a pink.
That's my favorite one too. I've just already used it twice, so I'm like, what other ones can I use? I might go with the green and periwinkle one. I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean,
And
I
who knows?
actually have two quilts from the previous free fall backings that I have the pink on the back. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why I've been dithering and haven't bought any yet.
That like red one. It's a really different color because that one is red. It's more of a
It's very
red, and
red.
this
Yeah.
one's very much pink.
Yeah.
So it is a different color.
It is. But, I feel like I have this quilt that could have pretty much any color on it that needs it.
Uh-huh.
And I've been dithering over which one because I'm a pink girl and I
Yeah.
want a pink one. But
Yeah. Yeah. I like pink. I put pink on things, but anywho, we
anywho,
just completely forget that we're recording every time we do this.
we
So
do.
let's remember what we're here for.
We do. We're talking about Mr. Nutter. Who is
Oh,
Mr.
Mr.
Nutter? It's Mr.
So
Nutter. It's the last
cute.
one.
Oh,
Mr.
he's in the
Nutter.
corner.
Yeah.
Right
He likes reading crime
there.
novels and singing in the rain. He's
Yeah.
he's been my favorite since the very beginning. I keep saying they're all my favorites, but Mr. Nutter really is my favorite. He's so funny.
Yeah, I have a few favorites. Those mushrooms are still my favorite. The mushrooms are my whole world.
We're gonna have to like do a whole mushroom quilt just for you.
I think I'm going to make a mushroom place for everything bag to carry all my applique stuff in and just put all of the mushrooms from this quilt all over it.
That's a good idea.
That's my thought.
That's a good idea. That would be cute. That would be very
Would
cute.
be cute.
Hmm.
So, Mr. Nutter.
Yes, so Mr. Nutter, the rest of his body is very, very easy to applique.
Yeah,
It's only his tail that is going to hurt anybody. And honestly,
hurt anybody. I didn't think it was so bad. I did, what was it, option
the
two?
medium size one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
did the
there's
middle.
the full-on crazy one, which is the one that's on my quilt. There
Mhm.
is, which I haven't actually gotten out for you today, but there's so much video of it in the thing.
There's the medium
Yeah.
one.
And that's the medium one. And then the simple one is very, very simple. It doesn't have
It
any
is.
baggy bits at all. It's just literally that same curve with no jags on it at
And
all.
it's still very squirrel.
It's still going to look very, very squirrel. So if you
Yeah.
feel like you've just had enough points in your life and you're just done and you want to get this quilt finished, then you just whack that one right on there, ladies. Just
Yeah,
don't you worry
def-
about it one bit.
definitely.
Yes, I have done this for you. So yeah, he and I have given you some acorns. My acorns are a bit smaller than Chula's because
I
I
didn't know about your acorns
I know
before I started. Otherwise, I would have waited.
it's um but I wanted him to be able to hold one between his paws, like a little one between his paws. So that's why mine is
Yeah. Oh, that
um,
makes sense. I didn't even
yeah,
think about that.
yeah. And then like my if I was applying them all onto that block, I would have had him hold one and then have like a little pile at his feet was kind of my
Oh,
my
cute.
envisaged situation.
Oh,
Actually,
that
I'm looking at your Mr. Nutter behind you. The hardest thing on this block is actually the oak leaves. I think they're harder than his tail.
Oh, I like the
Curves.
Oakley. I didn't have any trouble with those.
Yeah,
What's
I mean,
hard
I
about it?
love them. Sorry?
What did I miss about what's hard about? Is it the
Oh,
inside
the
curve?
little, yeah, the inside curves. They're just tight, that's all. But if you've
Oh,
got the hang of that pushing your needle away to get around the curve so that nothing comes out,
yeah.
then you sweet.
I thought they were sort of wide enough. They didn't give me much trouble
Yeah.
for me.
I
But
mean,
maybe I'm just that good now.
maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, no, and when I design these things, like I draw an oak leaf and then I go, yeah, that's too hard. And then I go back and like simplify the shape and
Yeah.
pull the curves out, pull the points out and stuff. So maybe they're not as bad as
Yeah.
I remember when I drew them.
Yeah. I don't think they're so I mean, there's definitely that inside curve. It's a
Yeah,
thing, but I didn't find it problematic personally.
yeah. And
As far
inside
as
are easier than inside points anyway. So,
yeah. Definitely easier than the inside points.
hmm
But the inside points are not so bad. I felt like all the like little edges on the tail had enough. Like, it's not like those inside points were like this. Those are the ones I have trouble with. They're
Yeah,
more like
yeah,
that.
they
And
are.
that was not so bad,
Yeah.
at least on the medium version.
Yeah, no, it's the same on the other one. I again
Okay.
drew it and then went back and like bent everything out.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't find them too, I mean, there were a lot of them, but I didn't find them too troublesome at this point. Like,
Yeah,
I probably would have struggled with them if they were block one.
exactly. And that's why
But
it's last. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why it's last, yeah.
yeah.
And the other pressure point this month is those leaves down the center.
I
Um,
know. I did not wait for that video to come out for you to tell us how to do that. And it was hard. So
yeah.
I'm sure whatever your trick is makes that easier.
Look, the problem is there's kind of a trick in that, you know, you can manipulate things on your
Hmm.
flat hand, which I've talked about in the video.
Yeah.
But the problem with appliquing into the center of a big quilt is that you're appliquing into the center of a big quilt.
There's a lot of quilt to hold. And
Yeah,
that's the only issue is holding it. It's not the actual sewing that's difficult in the center. It's just, it took me a while to figure out like how to hold all that
yeah,
bulk
yeah,
while keeping
exactly.
it out of the way.
Yeah. And it's path of least
But I
resistance
did
as
it.
well. Like, you know, if you're appliquing a quilt that's at the top, don't come up from the bottom, even if you're stitching in that direction, you know.
Right.
Like you have
Yeah.
to learn to turn it within your hand,
Yeah.
within that flat
Right.
hand that we talk about, rather than trying to, you know, re-bulk everything every single time in the direction that you
Yeah.
stitch. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what my trick is, I suppose. But there will come a point where you have to applique right into the middle of it. It's just gonna
Yeah.
happen. Get
Luckily, luckily, so I had the sashing on one side and I had that side of leaves already down.
yeah.
So I only had to do the 5 leaves in the center.
Yeah. I actually think that's more difficult just for a placement situation, but that's my own.
Oh, I thought it was way
Yeah,
easier.
that's my own. It's only about the placement rather than the stitching. I mean, obviously the
I
stitching.
think if these had specific placement, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But
Yeah,
because they are sort of like wonky and random, I didn't feel like I
yeah,
didn't
like
put
they
a
have
lot
to
of
be in
pressure on
exact.
myself to place them perfectly.
Yeah.
But that did help me because by the time I got to that very center piece, I only had 5 leaves to sew. So it wasn't like I had the whole entire row. So I think for me, being newer at this, that saved me a lot of stress
Yeah.
personally.
Yes, well, so I've given them both options. I've told everybody to either try that or to do what I do. Whatever way that you feel this is going to work the best for you, essentially, is the way.
Oh, totally.
It, you know, it's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. Those ones in the middle are going to cause you just
Well,
a bit of hassle.
way worth it because that is a cute quilt. So
I'm glad you like it.
I love it. I'm super
You've done a
obsessed with it.
beautiful job. I love it too. I love what you've done. Yes, so that pretty much is our final Big Woods video. We're kind of done.
Yeah.
What have you got happening next, Shula? What can they watch you do
Well,
in the future that's coming
I
to
mean, I've got gray work coming. Obviously, not obviously. If you follow my social media, you know I have gray work coming. Um,
I have grey work coming too. It's in a
Oh,
FedEx. It's on its way to me.
excellent. Yeah, a whole collection of shades of gray, which I'm super excited about. Kind of a follow up to my black and white collection, line work. And we're actually adding a surprise fabric to that later that no one really knows about yet. So we'll get to that probably in the next few weeks, I'm sure. Um,
That's it.
Sometimes we come out with something and then we're like, what if we also did this? But it's like way late in the game. And then we just scurry and try to make it happen super fast. And I'll be launching some peripheral products with it coming up in the next couple weeks too, like thread kits with Aurifil, things like that. So yeah, there's still like more news to come on gray work, which was sort of like a last minute surprise.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ribbons, I'm
but
assuming you'll do ribbons for it.
yeah, we've already done all those, like ribbons, webbing. We've got all those. Those are already out, or not out like for purchase,
Yeah.
but they're
Out
we've shown
for people to
those.
see.
Yeah, it's a really good ribbon collection too. Like just all the grays and stuff. It was a really fun one to
Yeah.
do. And but what have you got coming up, Sarah?
Well, I got coming up. Well, I've got the next block of the month is coming up. It's
Can't believe
called
I finished
Swadkey.
wanting to write another. What's it called again?
Swadkey.
Say
So
it again.
Swadkey. It,
Swadkey.
yeah, it's spelled Slodki, which is Slodkey.
That's why I had you say it
Because
several times because I've
yeah,
seen it write it in emails, but I hadn't quite heard it yet.
yeah. So because it's Polish, it's pronounced Słodki, and it means sweet in Polish.
Oh, cute.
Cute. So it's I like to research old things. It's just one of the things that I do. I like old textiles, I like old fabrics, I
Yeah.
like old quilts, I like old embroidery, I like old everything. So I came across all these fascinating old Polish tapestries and like wall hangings and stuff.
It's so
And I was just
cool.
really obsessed with them. And that is kind of what's inspired the quilt. So
So what would you say is like the defining sort of like visual character, like aesthetic of this style?
this particular style, well, the tapestries are quite blocky because of the way that
Okay.
they're woven. They're not tapestries like we look at English tapestries, like the Lady and the Unicorn. They're not all
Right.
flowery and stuff. They're a lot more
Like folk arty
very
almost.
folk arty, yeah. Very blocky shapes. Like the flowers are like a plus sign, like
Oh,
rather than a circle.
cute.
They're very, very cute. And that I think is what really charmed me about it. It just had this
Hmm.
really kind of not very what am I trying to say? Not very formal look about it, very sweet,
Right.
chunky look about it. So this
Yeah.
quilt is quite different than Big Woods in that a lot of the blocks are pieced, machine pieced,
Uh-huh.
and then we're going to add all the cute parts with the applique on the top. So like there's little birds that are like little blocky piecing, but their wings are applique. They have little applique feathers and all that
That's
stuff.
awesome.
And then it's a bit choose your own adventure again, like I did with Big Woods. So there'll be like a basic block and then a much more complicated block.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I love the optional bits. I thought that was super. And you had told me you were going to do that before we started this, but actually doing it was really, really cool
Yeah.
because I think what I really liked about it is it kind of gave me some ownership over the quilt,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
but
and
I
the
didn't have.
difference, yeah, the difference this time is that I will be able to make the more complicated quilt, which I couldn't do with this one
Right.
because of the nature of the free spirit thing and all of that sort of stuff.
Right.
I couldn't have
Because you had to have the
557 different
fine.
fabrics in there
Yeah.
because the kit would have cost like, a mortgage.
Well, and we were dealing with a much wider range. You probably had more first time applicators this time around than you
Yeah.
usually do, I
Yeah,
would
much
guess.
more, much more. So this time I'll be able to actually show you, I'll make the basic block and then I'll add everything to it. So you're going to be able to see both versions of the block.
Cool.
And then, take it even further if you want to, or just not add all the pieces that I've added or whatever. So it will be very fun to kind of have your own version
Yeah.
of the quilt come out. Yeah, it's going to be,
Yeah. You showed me some of the like inspiration tapestries that you had looked at. And and I've seen the drawing for the quilt. that you released with the block of the month like you do.